Hello and welcome to Now. This is Jane. I'm coming at you live, and this now moment, when you watch this, it won't be live, but I'm still alive, hopefully, which is interesting because of what I wanted to share. So I just wanted to, first of all, send a lot of love to you and to whoever is watching this in this now, because the energy and movement in the collective is just like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know, that's kind of how I'm picking up on it. And there is a lot of death. So about a year or two ago, I had a vision of the collective experience of death. And like the amount of death that we will be witnessing and experiencing and moving through and processing, and there was a lot of compassion that's going to be growing from that in our hearts, right? Because that's what happens. And grief is also the prelude to joy. So like, I understand it, right? It's like death precedes the rebirth, and the rebirth is like the super jazzy, like fun stuff. So something that I wanted to draw awareness to, I guess, in this now is the death that so many of us are experiencing. Is, first of all, it's intense, and I just want to honor that. Like, it's death is a thing, and the way that we are experiencing death, I find it very interesting, because it's not just in the physical, although that is happening. We are watching the death, we're experiencing and moving through death in a multidimensional way. So we are dealing with it, instead of it just being like, oh, look, somebody died, dead, and we get to deal with that. It's more like watching someone slowly crumble and die, watching a relationship slowly crumble and die, watching the ways of being that we have been holding onto and gripping with such just force, watching those things die away. And what I'm finding to be really fascinating and just like super interesting is the way it's happening as the timelines are collapsing. So I saw this today, and I'm going to try to share it concisely. So thank you for your patience, and I hope you follow along. So, we've been living in this linear timeline, and we're realizing and remembering that it's circular, right? And so cool when we realize that time is all now, and we're living in multidimensional realities, and it's all now, and we're in the past, we're in the future, and it's all now, then we can navigate the nows with so much more ease and clarity, with more open heart. We can create more funly and more pleasure and more play. Like, when we are in the eternal now, life is just very different, and it's more navigable. Now, there are some humans that are not in that awareness, and time is still very linear, because the timelines, the awareness of time being now, is such that it's creating a reality where the timelines seem to be collapsing into this eternal now. So if someone is in a linear timeline, they will be experiencing basically a shit ton of discomfort, really, and a whole lot of death. And they will be playing out multiple reiterations of a singular reality. So, say you have a movie, and you have the screens like in a comic strip, right? And it's a motion picture, and you see all the images, right? So if you're aware of the now, then you're witnessing it, and you're like playing in it, and you're like, I'm the creator of this, I'm the director, I'm also the main star, I'm also the set designer, like I'm all of these parts, and it's creation, and it's cool. Now, if I'm unaware of that, and I'm not really living in the now, and I'm not living from this like heart space and the high heart and the open mind and the connection to the divine, and like legit like rooted onto this earth plane, but for real though, when this motion picture is being pulled faster now, because time is speeding up because the way the energies are coming in, it's a different speed. This movie strip gets pulled faster. And sometimes when this movie strip gets pulled faster, say there are multiple movie strips that we would call timelines, where you've got the past, the present, and the future. Well, the same storyline is playing out. Maybe it is that you are the main character, is in a narcissistic relationship, right? That's the plot, that the main character always chooses the narcissistic relationships, whether it's with the parents, their children, their partners, their bosses. So like in each of these like lifetimes, the main character's repetitive program is that of, say, a narcissistic relationship. So as these timelines are collapsing and all of these movie reels are compressed into one, then the human will experience all of the narcissistic relationships all at once, multidimensionally. When that happens to someone that is unaware of the eternal now, it will be, and it is, a total like mind fuck, and it's debilitating, rather paralyzing, and it also easily leads to extreme projection and rejection of reality. So basically, there's so much cognitive dissonance that they are like in the realization that they can't get out of these compressed movies. And this, although there's always a way out, like there really is, but for some, their perspective is that they can't get out of now this really fucked up movie, because it's like everywhere they turn, it's all falling apart, or it's smashing them, or it's confining them, and it's everything's reflecting back like victim, or I'm abused, or damn it, why do I keep choosing the wrong narcissistic relationship, or whatever. And as this is happening, first of all, if you're in that, you can get out of this. Like it's not permanent. Like you literally can get out of this repetitive clusterfuck of like everything going wrong at once, but it has the same like thread of like, I'm losing everything around me, or I always choose this narcissistic relationship, or everyone around me is hurting themselves, or like whatever it is that's like you're recognizing that there's this pattern. And it'll be a pattern where it's like, oh my God, my mother used to do this. And then it's also like, well, my father did the same thing, but it was in the polarized opposite end. And man, when I was a kid, this happened with my teacher. Like it'll be like all these timelines are like, whoa, compressed. You can get out of it. I'm supportive. I can help with this. Others can help with this. Like find a spiritual teacher, find a healer, find a tree to talk to, and get the fuck in the woods and just be with yourself and just like navigate. Anyway, that's another story. What I'm finding is that those humans, like me, for example, like I'm like they're compressing for me as well. I'm navigating it because I'm like, oh fuck, it's all now, and I'm just like, this is some fucked up shit. Like I find humor in it. I find it like just weird, and I'm really grateful for it, all the parts that suck, and I'm still gonna find pleasure, and I'm still gonna find self-care, like all the things, because yay, I'm very disciplined and focused and practiced in my spiritual practice to support the human that I am, because the human me is still gonna go through this stuff. The part that I want to share about all this is that it still sucks. It sucks for everyone. Like, it sucks to be the human and watching someone who's having all of their movies collapse, and it's like they're like stuck in between panes of glass, and it's like they can't, it's like being stuck in a house of mirrors. You know, it's like all the mirrors and glass, and you gotta like find your way out. Watching people in that, because you can't go in to help them, right? It's their life. Like, you can be outside and be like, hey, so I'm here and I can't tell you how to get out because I can't actually see your way out, because the pattern that you need to get out between these panes, this mirror glass reality of all of your lifetimes or whatever timelines collapsing, like, it's not, I can point it out, you know, I can say that these are the timelines and these are where things have been happening, but like, I can't do that for them. You know, I can't make them make a better decision. I can't make them stop their addictive behaviors. I can't stop them doing self-harm stuff. I can't stop them from not being forgiving and kind. I can't stop them from being a miserable cuss. You know, I can't stop them from rejecting love. Right? I can't. And for me, that sucks. And it's watching parts of them die, whether it's in their physical or their mental, their energy centers kind of wobbling so much that they start to just kind of shut down, and then like certain body parts tend to like follow suit with that. And so my invitation for all of this is that we remember that, first of all, everything is ever changing. We're moving into a brand new timeline of oneness and of now, which means that this movie strip turns into, instead of it being like a linear movie strip that we're watching, it turns into more of kind of like a kaleidoscope movie. We're creating a kaleidoscope style movie now. That's like the vision that I get when I think about like the new earth in reality compared to like a third dimensional consciousness way of being earth. One is linear movie strips, and then they all get compressed and reconfigured, and now they're multi-layered and like holographic, so you can like see through them with clarity, and they kind of dance and mold and move together like a kaleidoscope. We're here during that transition. That's the fucked up thing. Like that we're here during the fast moving, the compression, the reevaluating, and the changing and reshaping. We are here in that transition. That's big. That's really big. And it reminds me of like how, who was it? I don't know, it might be my mom. It may be her. I don't know. Someone that I know never liked 3D movies. Like when you go to the movie theater and you put on the glasses and everything's in 3D, because it would make them really nauseous. Right? I've seen people that like went to like the big IMAX theaters and they just couldn't handle it because it was too much moving around, and they were just like, what? Like, I can't handle this, right? I can't hang. So some people have to like leave the theater. Some people are just like, no, I can't watch. I can't participate. It's not, I can't handle it, right? So they're not bad people. It's just, they just can't handle it, right? It's just not in their bandwidth to handle that. So my invitation is for all of us to really anchor in so much grace for everybody, for people who are not able to handle it, people that have to exit this reality during this shift, in whatever way that looks. Offering ourselves grace while we witness things that we don't like, watching death in all of the forms. And offering the grace of growth, really, for the all, because none of us have done this before. So we're watching in this now, we're watching old laws change and being able to see, well, where is this growing? Okay, well, all of these timelines of like Roe v. Wade, right? Like collapsing. And it's like, okay, well, that sucks. Okay, well, then what are we growing into? What's this new multifaceted thing? Oh, well, it's each sovereign state is going to have their own laws around this. So now I have freedom of choice. Well, if Indiana is in alignment and Ohio is not in alignment with me, then I'm going to choose to live in Indiana, not Ohio, right? So then, as opposed to it being a one blanket, like this is the way it's all going to be, federal government rule, right? So like I'm being really cognizant of looking at the whole picture, because everything is changing. You know, we're noticing that like the movies, the Hollywood is now becoming the political realm with who's buying who and who's funding what. Like they've been doing this, but it's coming into our line of sight. So it's like, okay, well, let's navigate from the back end, and let's get, you know, grassroots politicians in there to make decisions, and community leaders and people that are well spoken that can actually communicate with other leaders in other communities. Oh, look at that human. Like so we're really navigating these really brand new ways that are very reminiscent of like old ancient ways of being. Or when I think about the future, our galactic aspects, our higher selves, our future selves, like it's taking these higher frequency consciousnesses and bringing them into the now, while these old ways of being are literally dying out. And that means that some people are playing the roles of the judge. Some people are playing roles of the victim. Some people are playing roles of the killer. Some people are playing the roles of those that are killed. Like it feels very much like an extremely dramatic sci-fi drama movie. It's weird. And that's the reality that we all get to like witness, right? Because as this collapses and compresses, the device that is reading all of the data of these compressed movie strips, timelines of life experiences, we're reading them very quickly, discerning what is in the highest good for all and what is not. What is not will be crumbling out, and what is going to anchor in. That's going to also create a split in realities. That's the new earth. You know, it's not like it's all here. It's all here now. That's the thing. That's the really funny thing, because it's all this now. But, and that split, it's almost like if you're in a relationship with someone and you love them so much and it's just not in alignment anymore. Or you love the job that you've been doing and it's just not fulfilling you anymore. It's that. There's a sadness to that and a grief to that. And there's also, you know, we can't hold on. The other side may want to hold on, right? Because if you're holding high frequencies, and lower frequency consciousness humans are like, but you feel good. You light me up. I love it when I'm around you. You fill up my cup. And we're like, you're sucking my energy dry. You're not filling me up anymore. And then there's that pull. And the funny thing is that we're all one. There's no difference between either of these parts. So that means that as we're pulling apart in a higher consciousness, that could still mean that I am the one that's actually sucking the energy from someone else. Because we're all holding different frequencies. Anyway, we're moving into a really interesting timeline. The summer is going to be hot. There will be a lot of things burning away, right? In the yoga tradition, it's tapas. It's burning away what's no longer needed. We're going to be moving through a lot of tapas this summer. And a lot of purification through burning, right? A lot of purifying through that fire. We're going to be going through a big purification process. We can view it as however we want. So we can view it as like, this sucks, it's death, it's awful, wow. And we can view it like, okay, this sucks, it hurts, I hate it, and this is something that's leading us into something better as a collective. I don't know what it is. I'm here to consciously create from a really wide ass open heart that's not afraid to be vulnerable and authentic. And I still deserve my human divine birthrights, which is to experience pleasure and joy. And I'm gonna fucking make sure that I'm gonna hold on to my birthrights, my divine birthrights, while I navigate through this so that I can survive and thrive, because I'm here for a fucking reason. You know, like that's kind of what I'm dropping in with. It's what I drop in with all the time. I try to, you know, and then things suck and I get mad and I get sad and things hurt and things don't work out the way I had hoped for them to. And then my heart feels like it drops into my belly and then it gets eaten up with the stomach acid or something. Like it feels like my heart's been punched, or it feels like there's a hole in it. And then I think that those moments when we recognize that our heart has just been through its own war zone, that's not the time to give up. It's a time to love more, love the earth more, love ourselves more, love our brothers and sisters, whether we like what they're doing or not, love them more. And really anchor into the devotion to love. That is the way we will get through this, is to be devoted to love 110,000%. So no matter where you are, what you're doing, what you're going through, what you're experiencing, what you're thinking, no matter what, without any judgment, my deepest request is that you create a devotion to love. A love for love, devote to love, devoting your love to love, devoting your life to love. Like it makes me want to cry how powerful this would be for everyone, that we wouldn't have to go through as much pain and suffering and sorrow if we just fucking remembered it's all about love. That's what will guide us through. It's what will unify us. It's what we will grow with. Our spirit, our soul knows that. Our body knows that. Our mind is just this silly machine that's just been programmed to ignore the heart and to look outside of ourselves for fucking answers. Ugh. Programming is so fucking stupid. Insert eye roll. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I wanted to hop on here and share. A lot of death, a lot of grief, a lot of timelines literally collapsing, and we will be experiencing a whole lot of like, what? And a whole lot of like, what? And like consciously creating and coming together and uniting. And for the love of all that's holy, please devote every single thing you do to love. Add more love everywhere you can. Add it for the fact that you have a body, that you woke up today, that you can see the sky, that you have air to breathe, that you're warm or that you're cool, or that you have the ability to sweat, or that you don't have the ability to sweat and you don't have to smell bad. I don't know. Like, but that you have eyeballs, or that you can smell, that you can touch and you can taste and you can experience this thing called life. How much love can be experienced when we choose it. We can fall in love with everything if we choose it. Or we can just fight it and be miserable. Anyway. Free will, man. Free will. We got free will. So anyway, I hope that you're doing okay and know that you're loved. Like, wherever you are, know that you're loved. Whether you devote your shit to love or not, you're loved either way. You are love either way. I love you. I don't even know some of you, and I love you because you're here on the earth plane doing the best you fucking can. And I'm just like honoring you because we're all doing the best we can. So, I love you. And please take care. And I'll see you soon, okay? Okay, bye.